Okay, your event is starting. Cool. Your screen is being shown.
Excellent. Should I start building then?
Yeah, let's do a little intro.
Yay.
All right. We good? All right, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Hello, world. Good to see you guys. Paul Trani here, and I'm here joined by three fantastic designers. So they say they are. We'll see. But if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, my name is Paul Trani.
Designed.
We will talk about this guy in a second, by the way. But essentially, we're going to get started.
Called, and they want their job shadows back.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to be talking for a little bit. But I'm going to be hosting as we will see some things being created. So.
Yes, awesome. Hi, I'm Lisa Carney. Thanks for having me.
Lisa, what do you do? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I am an entertainment advertising finisher. So I do print design for motion picture and television. I'm a Photoshop artist. Been doing it for about 25 years.
Ooh, nice.
Long time.
That's awesome.
I'm old.
No, you're good.
Hi, Colin Smith, Photoshop Cafe. I make Photoshop tutorials and also create pretty pictures inside of Photoshop.
I'm Chuck Anderson. I'm a graphic designer, artist, photographer from Chicago. I have a studio called No Pattern, and I just make a lot of different stuff.
You make a lot of cool stuff, by the way. I think
Thank
all
you.
of you do, which I'm super just excited to have you guys here, by the way. And you should have your fancy titles and all that stuff out there. So we'll be checking out the chat. Just so you guys know, you've probably seen in the description below, there's a link. So we're going to have this stock edition contest going on. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to start with Lisa. As I explain more about the contest in a little bit, we are going to have giveaways roughly about every half hour or so, or whatever we feel like it, which is why we're happy you guys are here. Jennifer and Brennan and everybody out there, Paul as well. So yeah, this is fun. So looks like Lisa is actually already started. So you got basically an asset, right?
Right.
Little PSD. You're ooh, this is interesting.
So gang, can I say, so the PSD that y'all have out there, I've basically taken all those and put those assets in the library, the Adobe library, so I can just click and drag and not have two files open. So the library is a really handy little tool to use.
Yeah, totally. So the goal here is they're going to be making sort of a promotional, we're saying ad, but basically it's, a piece of art for WolfBear ginger beer. Okay, so that's their job. We gave them 20 assets. They might use additional assets. It's okay, but we just gave them 20 assets from Adobe Stock it was kind of hard because we had 75 million to choose from or something, and we ended up with 20, which is cool, all for WolfBear. So that's the goal. It's fun to have Lisa. It's fun to have you here because I know people have seen your work and didn't know they've seen your work.
Yeah, I'm the invisible person.
Yeah,
Yes.
and like other people are taking credit for her work. Who's doing that? Is that what's happening?
Well, no. But I work with teams, so I have designers who design the projects and then I rebuild them.
What's
so
that
it's
mean? Oh, go ahead.
So it's not a single person career. It's working with other people. So we all take credit in a way. In a lovely
awesome.
way.
Well, I'm going to actually you continue to work. I'm
Okay.
going to just kind of show where these assets came from, by the way. So if I could just kind of take over your screen real fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Let me
doing
give it
good.
back
No,
to you.
you're doing fine. No,
Oh,
keep
sorry. Sorry.
Keep doing what you're doing. You are good. But basically, I'm showing you guys where these assets came from. Okay, so you can see a number of them here, but typically, you'll start maybe with a sort of a blank file, something like this, right? So these are where all these assets came from. So you want to join the stock edition, this kind of is how it works. I actually went into Adobe Stock right here, the libraries panel right up here at the top. So from within Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, a lot of the apps, I can search Adobe Stock right in here. So I can search for mountains. Just like that. So you can see a number of these results being returned, right? So I can check, say, hey, you know what, I want photos, illustrations, whatever the case may be, and then I can start syncing some of these assets. For instance, ooh, these are gorgeous. like this one. Syncing that asset right now. That's just a watermarked image that's being synced to my miscellaneous library. Okay, so that's how I'm using Adobe Stock, and that's where all these images came from. That's how that file was built. But just so you know, I can even go beyond that. If I right-click on this image, I can find similar. So there's a lot I can do directly within, say, Photoshop or Illustrator. I can even view details of this image on the web. So that's why I'm going to jump out to Adobe Stock. You guys continue to work. We expect to be impressed really soon.
Ooh, I hope so.
By the way, huh? How about that? So here's the image on Adobe Stock, by the way, where I can find similar and do all that stuff. I can license and save it directly to my library if I want to. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So that'll work kind of behind the scenes, but what's great is I can still jump out, you know, and let's do moose. I'm going to search for a moose. Or moose? Mises? What's the plural of moose? Mises?
Nice.
Big, I don't know. Yeah.
Muses. Just kidding. That's weird.
That's awesome. He's a little weird, but
I'm a little
you're
weird.
cute. We'll let you get away with it.
So here's all of my images. This actually looks pretty good. I'm viewing all of them. Let's expand. I kind of need to expand this out a little bit more, but I have filters, by the way. So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to filter this. I actually want to grab like a vector moose is what I'm thinking. So I'll select vector. I can choose orientation as well. It automatically updates. So this is kind of more along the lines of kind of what I want. So I could save this vector moose in this case to my miscellaneous library or any library that I want. Okay, keep in mind, I could even grab from my desktop. I know you're not seeing this, but this is an image from my desktop. It's this bear. I could do this visual search, and I can drop that in because I'm like, this is actually a great way if you actually, it's a good way to see who's stealing your stuff too. Like, you never know. Like, or
Yep.
even if I wanted to submit things to Adobe Stock, what other images out there are like
Absolutely.
this one, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a fun little test. So you can see this is the one I did just a quick visual search on, and again I can save a preview of this bear or even license and save that to miscellaneous. So you guys haven't seen my desktop. You don't have to, because quite frankly, again, I'm just going directly from Stock into Photoshop. By the way, this content will update. Here's my fancy moose. Boom, done. So that's how I'd typically work in this case. Let's get something kind of pretty because I don't, even though I'm here with the pros, I'm going to try to
Come on.
rock it with the best of them. Boom! How you like that? That's actually not bad. So I just put the moose, that mountain scene inside of that moose as a start for WolfBear. Oh, guess what? I needed that bear. Sure enough, that bear is going to be right in here. Here's my big brown bear. Done. All right, so that's the idea. Let's kind of clean this up. Do you guys use clipping masks a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Smart.
Especially for logos, movie logos, TV logos.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and you guys will probably show, like, hopefully you guys will show, like, I kind of want to see just kind of how you guys work and your, you know, any tips that you might have that people may or may not be aware of. I'll just change the overlay to something else. If Shift plus and minus, as you guys know, kind of toggle through those. Did you notice you could use Shift Option, and then I could hit O if I wanted to go to overlay mode?
I did not know that.
Or M for multiply, but I'm kind of just clicking through all those. So that's real fast, just a little shortcut on, you know, for compositing and Adobe Stock. So that's where that's kind of how I've actually gotten all these images in one PSD, by the way. So this is what they all have. They have this one PSD. They're kind of making their own files, adding flames. I don't know what you guys are doing.
We don't know what we're doing, but that's
I
all
want to
right.
see what you're doing, Lisa. Enough
right.
enough of me talking.
All
Let's see
right.
what you got going on.
I'm going to
there.
show you what I'm doing.
Show me what you're doing.
All right. So I've got this background started. And because we have to use a volcano, you need to put a volcano in things.
Yeah.
I want to drop
More
this.
volcano.
It's more fire flames. It's all more. So I want to put it back here, but I don't want to have to try to mask that out because it'll be a pain in the hiney. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a quick black layer underneath. Just blank layer, put black, and then I'm going to go to channels. I'm going to do a channel pull. Woo! What that means is I'm going to let Photoshop do the masking for me. So what I'm going to do is cycle through the channels. That's the red channel, the green channel, and the blue channel. And the green channel is pretty rocking. Do you see this? It can select just the flames.
Okay.
The red channel is pretty good, but it's a little too big, like too broad.
A little too much.
So
huh?
I'm going to grab the red channel, though, and I'm going to do a levels move because Lisa says do some levels. Command L. And what I can do is I can say, hey, Photoshop, can you just make those blacks a little darker, which will make the mask tighter. And then I'm going to take the dodge tool and make sure it's set on shadows. And I'm just going to dodge it back a wee bit more. Hope you guys are following that okay. And then I think that might be a fairly decent selection. The whites, though, I don't know if you guys can see that, aren't quite white enough. So I'm going to do a real quick levels move again. Command L. Lisa says do levels. And just brighten up those whites a wee bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think that's a decent selection. So I'm either going to command click on my red copy to channel or grab it by its name and drag it to the load selection icon. And then go back here to your layers palette. Zoom out so you can see what you're doing. Delete the mask that was already on there. Excuse me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just going to click on add a layer mask while I have those marching ants going. And now delete that black layer because that was only to help me make the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And so see, this has started now. And why I do that is what some folks will do is they'll put flame and fire on screen mode. But if I put this flame or fire on screen mode, you're not going to see it. See how faded it is?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it faded. I want it full tilt. So that's why I have to pull a channel to mask it.
Oh, so I've never seen that done, using channels to mask out an element.
Oh, I love channels.
And did you decide that based on the fact that it's like a volcano and you just needed the reds? Is that kinda what you started?
Exactly. The reds and orange. And because I'm frankly not that good of an illustrator, and it would take me too long to paint that mask by hand.
Oh.
So I'm letting Photoshop do the heavy lifting for me. But look, that's pretty reasonable.
That's pretty awesome. And
Right?
you're saying, you're not an illustrator. Can I brag about you for a second?
Go ahead.
That was awesome, by the way. I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to show off your site. Your little
Oh.
shameless self-promo here.
My mother will be so
Right?
proud. Thank you.
So you guys can go to lisacarney.com and you can check out all of her fabulous work. Obviously, Olympus says, look at all this stuff. It's like, really? Other people taking credit? No, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time.
She's been how many years?
25 years.
25 years learning.
I know, I don't
from
look
the
it.
pro.
I don't look it.
So that's what I think. Also, if you've been working in Photoshop a while, you might be using channels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a generation that are not necessarily using
Right.
channels. So
Well,
that's why I'm glad.
you know what? I come from the generation where Photoshop didn't have layers.
What are you even talking about?
I know, 2.0.
She's talking
no.
crazy. Anybody else? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has ever played in
Back
Photoshop
in the good old
without
days?
using layers.
Victoria, maybe
You
Victoria.
don't have to date yourself, but I
No.
was just, because that was like, was that 4.0 or 3.5 was when?
2.5.
2.5 is when layers came in, I think. Yeah.
2.5. So we're talking like 1990, 91, or around there-ish.
When I was 2.
You were 2 years old. I love it.
I wish I was 2.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
So guys, stick around. Again, this is part of the Stocketition. You can click on the link below in the description. We're going to give away, can you see this? Can you hold, I don't know, Colin, do you mind holding up our little character there? If you don't mind, just so everybody could see this
It feels
fancy
too
guy.
advertising.
Oh,
Yeah.
This looks like a shortlist. I need it to be gold, Think
I've had many
bigger.
bosses like this.
but keep it simple.
Yeah.
Just
so-
trust me. I'm an artist.
Ugh.
I like
Sorry.
it. I don't love it.
Awesome. So that's this is like the, I don't know if this is the one of the very few in existence, but we're gonna give away some of these to people that are nice in the chat. Why not? Like,
Yes, be nice to us, please.
Yeah, we're just like
Mika!
buying compliments, essentially.
I have a fan out there. I
So
love
if you
him.
guys have any questions, we are watching the chat. So if anytime you guys have questions, we'll try to catch that. And I don't know if anybody here is watching the chat too, but just do a shout out if we miss something or if somebody has. Ooh, good question. Mark mentions this. Okay, so since we're talking about the hovering art director, we're talking kind of about those annoying phrases that art directors say. He's asking for a favorite.
Okay, my favorite is when they ask for colors and they'll say things like, make it blue.
Make it blue.
Just blue. Like as if there's one kind of blue out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, cyan blue, royal blue, magenta blue, aqua blue. No, just blue.
Make it blue. What
Yeah.
about make it better?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Or when you're color correcting a skin tone and they say you need to color correct the skin. Well, whose skin? Your
Yeah.
skin, my skin,
I don't-
Colin's pretty
Right.
white. I don't know. I mean that with love.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Christopher wants the hovering art director because he says I'm pretty good at Photoshop.
I don't see the fun in it.
Oh,
I don't see the fun in it. Oh,
yeah.
so insulting.
So-
Who is this guy? Who hired this guy? I like when they say, I don't know what I want, but that's not it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll know it when I see
double
it.
negatives, like I'll know it when I see it, and I haven't seen it yet. So we'll just go around in circles for a little longer. It's like zero guidance. So, anyways, that's a little extreme. So,
It happens.
how you doing over there, Colin?
Oh, having fun.
You having fun, buddy?
No.
Awesome. So, I'm gonna do this.
Make my
really
logo bigger.
fast.
Someone put that out. That's, yeah, bigger. Always bigger.
So, I'll just show you guys the Stocketition screen, and we'll have you stop sharing if you don't mind.
I don't mind. One moment.
Zoop. So if you want to stop sharing, Colin, you can share.
Okay.
This is the basically what's going on. You can see this beautiful work of art. Do you guys know who created this original WolfBear ad? Do you know what studio it is, or?
Agency Antag out of Amsterdam. We'll put it in the chat box.
Oh yeah, we'll put it in the chat pod, like the agency that made this, because it turned out pretty awesome. Again, for this, the whole idea is to, make something with the 20 assets, just like these guys are doing. I think. Oh yeah, woo! There's Colin. There's your work. You're just working away quietly.
Just chugging away.
You realize when you do stuff like this that you don't ever sit, work, and talk and interact with people. Usually people come over to your desk, you're like, yeah, what? Let me get back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's funny.
trying to think with both sides of your brain at the
Yeah.
same time.
Ooh, that's
you know?
pretty. That's very nice, Ron.
Oh, thanks.
Because we do. It's like, you guys are obviously good at your jobs, and what do? We, put you in front of a lot of people and expect to be entertained.
Yes.
Like, that's not what I do. Like, I sit behind a desk. Like, I'm not even interacting with many people. Like,
No, it's
usually I have, Netflix on or something in the
Music,
background.
listening
Yeah.
to
Say, would it be
Pandora.
weird if one of us just put headphones on and didn't talk to you the whole time?
That's-
Oh, yeah. Like,
and when you tried
whoa.
to talk to us, we just went, I know.
Usually listen to electronic music on Pandora.
fantastic.
More cowbell. We're looking for the best comment from a hovering art director that you guys have, and we will pick that and we'll give you guys a hovering art director. Give us a fun comment that an art director will say, and we'll give you the hovering art director. How about that? Yeah, these guys you're not messing around, dude. Ooh, I love it.
That's great.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to match the color, because right now we've got a bear, which is a different color, because I figured a wolf bear, it should be a wolf bear. So I'm going to change the color of the wolf's head a little bit to match the bear. So if we go under the image adjustments, and we go down to match color, this is a really cool tool that a lot of people don't
This
really
is
utilize.
interesting, though. Okay.
So
That's
for the
great.
I know what you're
source,
going to do, but
I'm gonna
yeah.
choose the document, and then you can do it by layer.
Oh,
So
I didn't know you
I'm
could
gonna
do it
grab
by
the
layer.
bear layer, and then by doing that, see it brings the colors of the bear in.
That's great.
And I can just kind of fade it in and start to match the colors a little bit.
Very good.
Slow clap.
Very good. Well done, darling.
Thank you, thank you.
I
Gotta watch
didn't
it here.
know you could pick the layer of the file that you're currently on and match it. Boom!
That's a big
How you
boom.
guys like that, huh? How do you like that, Marcia? What are we drinking? Coffee. As far as you know.
And I'll
awesome.
refine
Make
that
it
later.
sizzle. Tyler, that's a good. Just shift it over slightly. What? It needs something more. Haha. Krista, are you watching the chat at all? If you find anything good, feel free to holler it out. All right.
So right now I'm just kind of positioning things too, so I'm not refining them or perfecting them yet. But I'm going to cheat now. I'm going to go to Adobe Creative Cloud, and in the libraries there I went to Adobe Stock. And since we're not entering the contest, we're allowed to use different images. So I thought I'd do something a little different and drag this in here and add a different environment.
Boom.
So I don't know if this is going to help me or open a whole new can of worms.
And that's that. So yeah, adding some water in there, like, or are you just taking the clouds?
I'm grabbing the water right there.
Okay.
And then you know what? That's a cheat thing, because what I can do is I can hide these bits here, so I don't have to waste a lot of time, since it's only 2 hours on getting masking perfect. We can hide it behind things.
Just jazz it up a little. I'm reading some of these comments, by the way.
I think one of mine is less about it's kind of something that they say, but it's when they show you something that's already completed that someone else has done, and they say, we need it more like, it needs to be more like that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it needs to look like this, or, whatever. Instead of thinking about what's best for the project you're working on, there's the comment that goes straight to trying to make it be like the source material that,
Yeah, they just basically pick something maybe on Instagram or someplace, some random piece, like, can you make this?
Mhm.
Is that kind of the thought?
Yeah. Or it doesn't look like your old, the stuff that we referenced, or, whatever.
I know you've been working on this 24 hours straight, but Micah's killing it.
Yeah, he's great.
Micah,
I love him.
We're giving you the Hovering Art Director. Congratulations,
Yay!
buddy! Congratulations,
Micah's
Bird.
really good, by the way. He's a really good designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you tracking Micah then? Are you writing these?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We'll need Adobe IDs, and we'll need to get shipping out.
So, Micah, just so you know, you could just follow me on Twitter. Just a shameless plug. We're gonna get in touch with you, but yeah, feel free to just follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. We'll have a little conversation, and we will get you the Hovering Art Director. Say something, Hovering Art Director.
This looks like a short list.
Oh,
I need it to be gold.
It needs to be gold.
yeah.
So show them how to license a file.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to find a file and you're looking for something right here inside of Photoshop, let me show you. And I need something I don't have. I can just search, like maybe under the word plunge. And we can see what comes up, and it goes directly into Adobe Stock. And if I twirl this down, I can choose if I want to just look at photos. And I can filter it down, so I can actually just look right here inside of Photoshop and try some stuff that maybe is going to work. And the cool thing about this is, let's grab, what we got here. Let's grab this. It might not be the one I want, but check this out. You can just drag it directly into your document and then play around with it. And if this is something that maybe I decide I want to use or not, I can just play around. And then if you decide, you know what, this is something I want to use, maybe I'm going to use this, then you can actually just go to your library here, where it is, and you can choose to license it. And then if you license it, what it'll do is I'll update, and we'll replace this. You watch this in a second. It's thinking. Obviously, live streaming, it makes the internet go a little slower here. But eventually what happens is this will update. Here we go. And it will replace it. There we go. Notice that the watermark is gone, and now it's actually replaced with the full high-resolution image. You can see it's a smart object there, so you could go in there and see that the full-size image is right there that I've licensed. So if you decide you want to use it, you can license it. But if you decide you don't want to use it, then you just delete it.
Oh yeah, so that's good because you could like apply some properties like it's a layer mask and certain things to it, right? Aside from pushing around pixels inside of the actual preview file, right?
Yeah.
You can make your changes. So that's super cool. So somebody asked us, how do you get your hands on that little guy? Well, we're going to be giving them away every so often. So just watch like you're doing now and you could win one. So that's how that's done. And some stock credits. Yeah? Haha! We're going to give away some stock credits. I don't know, how about 120? 120 stock credits, just because we can, I guess. Why not? Give us a little bit of time. Stay tuned. That's awesome, and that's looking really good, and I love that tip about matching the colors from a layer in your same PSD under Layer, Adjustment Layers, Match Color. I think that's where it is. Or is it in it's
image
not an
adjustments.
adjustment.
Image adjustments,
It's
match
not an
color.
adjustment layer, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Chuck, what's going on down there, buddy?
I need to share my screen.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Now I can go back to.
Okay, cool. There we go. So this is actually what we're doing right now. You can click on the link in the description. If you could go ahead and share your screen, you should be able to now. Chuck's up now. We got a little fun competition going on with these three. We're only giving them 2 hours, but you have 2 weeks to make whatever you want with these 20 assets, which is pretty awesome. You'll win, what? Creative Cloud, Adobe Stock, the Hovering Art Director, boom, Apple iPad Pro,
What?
Apple Pencil. I'm running out of fingers. I'm out of fingers. I have no more fingers, but I think that's everything. You can speak out loud. Go ahead.
So the winner,
Huh?
grand prize winner, gets all of that.
That's-
9 runners up.
Ooh,
What?
grand prize winner gets
Wow.
all that stuff. So hardware, Creative Cloud, which is like everything, Stock to get you up and running fast. That's awesome. And then the 9 runners up gets Creative Cloud and Adobe Stock too, stock credits. That's super cool. And again, you guys have 2 weeks. These guys only have 2 hours because they're pros. They're like, yeah, we got this. That's what you guys were telling me. All right, Chuck. Actually, it's wait. It looks like it's kind of still a little Spinarooski. Are you sharing?
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, yeah, I am. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Whoop. Just let's take a look. Yep, there we are. Okay, cool. Just hide that. I don't know if that. Okay, perfect. Awesome. There you are, my friend.
So I think
Super dope.
So maybe it help to give a little context to what I'm doing. I like to try and leverage individual assets over and over again in a lot of my work. And
Nice.
I don't know if we're pulling websites up, but that might be helpful to show something I've been doing a lot of lately. I'm coming at this more of like a t-shirt graphic type approach. I am I'm a far from make it perfect type of person. I'm a lot more just I want to get stuff done and I'm good with the rough around the edges. So I'm getting equally inspired and anxious watching these guys because the perfection level is just out of my league.
Nah.
So for me, I like the idea of creating something that might just end up on a t-shirt and just get washed and dried a million times and look pretty cool eventually. So it's more of a graphic approach and utilizing these elements. So like
like
here,
it.
look at the roses, like
It's very cool.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the same
Nice.
roses, and the sky in the background. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 5 total elements here so far.
How are you manipulating those roses anyhow? Like, how are you wrapping them around?
Sure.
his head?
So just a breakdown of the messy layers over here. So I have the wolf. So I basically cut this stuff out. So so here's the wolf. But let me turn that layer off. But yeah, it's really just duplicate and resize and rotate. So for me, it's a lot more about just composition and design. And I feel like then you can get a lot of mileage out of a single element. I've literally used should I put my site? Yeah, someone asked.
No, I
for-
have your site too,
oh,
by the
okay.
way.
Someone
I'll
just
show
asked
you.
for a link, so.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'll paste that in the chat.
Yeah, and if we could bring it up too, I can show you something.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. Here, let me just bring this. This is your site, so I'm
Yep.
just on nopattern.com, by the way. Shout out.
If you go, so there's something I've been doing a lot of lately that looks a lot different than most of my work. That this will kind of, so you'll understand the context. But if you go to personal up top there, and then the second one down in the middle with the sun. So I do a lot of when Snapchat first came out, I wasn't really so interested in using it in the way that other people were using it. So the one with the sun, like the emoji sun and all the little, yep, if you click that. So when Snapchat came out, I wasn't really interested in using it in like a typical way of like showing myself and selfies and all that stuff, but I still really wanted to utilize it. And so I started creating these compositions within Snapchat, and now I do it in Instagram stories just using emojis. It's a very kind of meticulous, time-consuming process, but it's a lot of fun and just kind of creating these
Wow.
It's cool, man.
these things. So it's literally just like, and then I have to pinch really tiny and get the,
Yes.
you know, to get them all like arranged and everything. But it's pretty cool. It's fun for me, and you can kind of see. So like that one right there with all the trash like falling out of the. Those are all like literally individually hand placed emojis that I did in Snapchat. And I just thought it was a unique kind of usage of Snapchat. And then I've actually had a chance to teach some like Snapchat kind of an Instagram story emoji sort of usage
I
classes.
don't see the
and-
fun in it.
Oh, do you hear him? I don't see
Yeah.
the fun in it.
Yeah, I know.
You're
well, I can
fired.
understand that there's no
That's-
that my Instagram is no pattern. Actually, just everything on the internet for me is no pattern. So
That is
someone
so...
asking my Instagram.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah, Instagram, Twitter, everything. It's just under that. If a new social media platform comes out, I get the name No Pattern immediately. I don't care if it's something I'll never use. I just
Yeah.
go get it.
No, that's super smart too, man. And wow,
if I
what,
find
the
someone
amount of
already
work.
has it, I
Look at
get
these
pretty
planes. You're killing me here.
So I do these like when I'm just like, this is a good thing to do, sort of like when you're on the train or if you're just waiting in line for something. Like, so I don't play
Oh,
any
those
game.
keys.
I don't actually play any games on my phone, and I just try and fill my time with creative activities. And I spend so much time in Instagram, so. For me, this is kind of a fun way to be creative in a unique way.
You're
that's
just
not
using
photo-based.
Snapchat as your canvas, basically.
Yeah,
as you
exactly.
create
Yeah,
art.
it's just a
Nice.
fun kind of unique way to do stuff, and so it's But
Yeah,
anyways,
way
so
cool.
kind of what I'm doing right now is a similar approach to this, where you just limited amount of elements, but then really so you can kind of see like what we just saw with all the Snapchat stuff, and then kind of what I'm doing now. Trying to maybe I will use all the elements, maybe I won't, but for me I think like it's fun. It's a fun challenge to try to see how much you can get out of a very finite amount of objects.
Yeah, so that's good, man. And somebody did mention in the chat, by the way, Puppet Warp.
I'm doing it right now. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at that.
Changing where
Oh.
its hand is, yeah. Puppet
But do
Warp's
you-
pretty fun. It can be hilarious if you just don't use it in the way it was really intended. Like,
Yeah.
It can honestly be like the funniest tool there is, but
Yeah. So where do you, and then is that lighting just kind of some of your own assets, the lighting over the eyes? Because so this is the one
This
thing,
is-
and I guess this is like shameless self-promo, but what I've done for icons and that lighting stuff is like literally I can buy 100, I can get like 100 icons for like 1 credit, by the way. Like it's, so that's what my libraries, I try to get as many things like, and icons and UI and stuff. So that's kind of where, when I saw your Instagram stuff, or your Snapchat stuff, that's what I thought of.
the stuff over it is it's so simple. I honestly use Photoshop in a fairly primitive way. Like so many new features come out, and I'm like, that's cool, man. I'll learn it eventually. But like I feel like I still like strip it down to like such the bare essentials. And for me, it's really just like a really powerful tool to get the ideas I have in my head out. And when new tools come out, if they're helpful, like right now, like for cutting stuff out, it's amazing how much better it is to cut stuff out. Like cutting this wolf out, for example. And getting the so I'll zoom into 100%, but like, and it's not perfect right now, but you can see like even the hair like that. To do that even 5 years ago, 6-7 years ago, when I first started using Photoshop in like 2003 or whenever I started using it, I mean, you couldn't have done that without spending a lot of time. And being able to just go in and refine your edge now and use smart radiuses and everything, it's incredible the amount of time you can save
Yeah.
Especially if you just need to get like an idea out there, pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And so the PSD that everybody has, we literally pulled that out kind of the same way using the refine edge tool. If you go into select and mask, is kind of how that's done.
And then this,
So-
the by the way, the red, you'd asked about the red, like over the eyes. It's actually just this photo. So I'll change it to normal, and it's just masked down onto the.
Oh, okay.
So it's really just this, and I've got smart filters on it, so I'll just take them all off, and you can see. So this photo's right there,
What?
and then it's just all it is just so if you just want the quick, key commands, just Command Option G, and it'll mask it to the layer below, which
That's
is the
even
wolf
cool.
here, and I can move it around within it, and then I just set it to screen. And then I have all these smart filters on, so hue, saturation levels, and then that gives me that. Does that make sense? I
Yeah,
ran
no,
through that
it's-
really quickly, but
Well, I know you have 3 different adjustment layers, and it's just amazing how much different it makes it look.
yeah. So really, it's just about for me, a lot of times, I know what screen does, I know what overlay is, etc. It's just, but sometimes you just got to click around until you feel like you get the right effect, especially if you're coming at it from like an art approach. Do I feel the mask option is better than painting in your own organic hair looking edge with the grass-shaped brush? Definitely, I wouldn't use the grass-shaped brush for that. I feel like that you can. I don't know. That might be a better question for Lisa, because I don't.
Oh, Lisa's a mess.
Especially if
Actually,
you're dealing
can
with like hair on like magazine covers, if they need like a strand of hair to go over like the headline or the title or anything, that's the kind of stuff I feel like you got to get really, like for me right here, it's a different kind of end result.
I'm going to
you know.
show, if I can we
Yeah,
share
let's
screen?
go ahead and stop sharing yours.
Sure thing.
And
All right.
again, this is what's going on. We're just playing around with 20 assets just for fun. We'll do a giveaway shortly based on the most fun comment or question that we get.
All right.
So the link's in the description. And it looks like we're live.
All right. I'm going to show just two little tricks. So here's a black layer just so we can actually I'll make it 50% gray so it's a little easier to see. All right. Without some color. Okay. So usually for hair, the best thing to do, if you ask me, is to paint it. And it's really not that hard. You just get a brush and a small brush, really small brush, like a 4-point, 3-point brush kind of thing. Let me get my presets up here.
Yeah, I want to watch this. I'm going to stop.
But I want to show a kind of cool trick that I really like. I turn transfer off on shape dynamics. I have it on pen pressure. Can we talk about tablets?
Oh yeah, somebody asked about that.
All right. I got to say, if you're going to be a retoucher or a Photoshop user, really you need a tablet, a
Yeah.
pressure sensitive tablet. You can get the little ones for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. Anywhoosie. So when you're painting hair, it's literally painting, like sketching. It's not that hard, but it's hard to get your hand used to it. So what we generally do is we will do practice. Like just take a few minutes and just layer it up, change your opacity. You're going to change the color based on the document, but get your practice going and then throw that whole layer away, breathe, and then start painting again, but with concentration, if that makes sense. All right, so that's just a quick little crazy how to paint, but I want to show you a really cool trick. Let's say you really just can't illustrate for beans. You kind of suck. You could draw a path. I know it's a little hard on the screen to see, but I drew a path here. And then I'm going to go to the render filter, flame, and you can go to this flame function in Photoshop and you make it, let me make sure you can see this. It's one single flame along a path, and then you can change how complex it is and what the line is. And I assure you, you start layering this up, you've got hair. Wait,
Who even knew that there was the flame option in Photoshop?
right? It's freaking awesome. And can I
you
say that?
Just run through like with just the different steps that you did.
Yeah, I'll do it all over again. And what I want to show you is, because the color's never right, is, let me get off my path real quick. What you'll have to remember to do afterwards is to colorize it in some way. I'm just going to throw this path away here.
Kind of what's amazing about Photoshop, right? You could use it for years and years, and there's some button menu
Right?
you've never clicked or gone into, and next thing you know, it's
I'm just
like,
going to take the saturation down and maybe darken it a little and then go to yellows. And then what you said is really, really, really pertinent is you said you use it for unintended. I am certain when the designers of Photoshop got together, they never thought, oh, we're going to make flame into hair, right? No, they wanted to make flame. So how you do it, here's the step. It's really basic. You take a path, you draw a path in whatever shape you want, and then you go to the render, filter, render, flame.
Filter, render, flame with your.
And
Cool.
here's what you want to make sure. On the basic setting, it's on 1. You do not want to do multiple because that'll make it look like that, which is not what you're looking for. And you put it on flame along a path. And then you go to advance and you can change the settings. So do you see how it spreads out more? Like if you want to do windswept hair, you change the jag. If you, honest to Buddha, if you just give yourself a half an hour of playing with this, and I'm going to take the hue saturation off so you can see it, you can get hair to do all sorts of stuff. And then if you get rid of your paths, maybe if we have time, I can open up a file. I have a file. If come back to me later, I will show you a hair that's completely made all with this.
Ooh, how
It's
fun.
already done. I just
Well, you're already like blowing our mind, by the way, because like how many people knew that? Yes, you could do different elements along a path. You could stroke a path, but like in the render settings, so
Right.
you went to
you know what's
filter.
fun? I've like
Yeah.
gone to those before, but didn't know what to do with it.
Well, and like
you know
you
what
said-
I mean? Like I've seen
And,
flame. I've seen,
like you
know.
said, like how often do you even need to use flames?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
very rare.
If you actually don't have any paths on though, you can still just go to flame or I'm sorry, not
But look
flame.
at that.
You can go
That's
to,
already starting.
You can
Yeah.
go to a tree, right? Like that's
cool.
like it's another one, flame, picture frame, and tree, and it'll just
Right.
like render and populate little trees. And
Oh, the
stuff.
trees are amazing in there
kinda
too.
crazy.
Absolutely
Which is
amazing.
fun. Like you could literally like you could have text and turn
Yeah.
that text into trees
Yeah.
or flames. You can set it
fascinating.
on fire, but here you're using it for hair, which is really
So
fun.
yeah, come back to me in a bit, and I will show
Oh.
you.
We're gonna switch to Colin because I think
I will show you
he's-
some
we're
stuff.
we're gonna go from flames to water. How about that? So just stop sharing.
It's all you, Colin.
All right.
You're the man, the myth, the legend.
All right. Let me try and
So,
live
we
up
gotta
to
give
that.
something away too.
Oh,
how are we doing
freebies.
on time? We're doing pretty good. Honest to Buddha. I know, Jordy. I did hear you say that. I've never heard that. Honest
Really
to Buddha.
sorry.
I
Hope
love
I didn't
it.
offend anybody.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, I'm going to show something really cool here. I'm actually going to I've made 2 wolf bears because I want to actually turn this guy into, into a label on a can. So rather than going to find a can, I'm actually just going to make my own because in that way I can have the lighting coming from the direction I want and control all that kind of stuff. So a lot of you probably know there's 3D tools built into Photoshop. What you might not know is if you go to the mesh from layer, which is actually a layer group, so it doesn't have to be a layer, it can be a whole layer group. And I'm going to put this into a can, soda, and
Yeah.
it's going to create a 3D can with my bear on it. Right, WolfBear. So there we go. And so we can see we've kind of got that. We need to tweak it a little bit. Textures are not quite right yet. So if we go down here under the texture for the label material, see I can turn it on or off, and I double click here, this will take me into a separate document, and in here I can make WolfBear. So basically you can just design your label here and it's going to just update onto that can live. But let me get a more exciting font than Myriad Pro. So let's have a look here. And now, if you're not aware, you can go into Typekit and find all kinds of fonts, but I'm not going to do that right now, not for this. Just going to go grab something like, there we go, something a little retro looking. So if we drop that there, and I can move this around. So literally I can just design my label right here. And if I want to put a color on the background, I'll create a new layer. Let me do this real quick. And then I'll refine this later when people are not like staring at my screen. Yeah, it makes you nervous when people
It
are staring
does.
at
It's
your
hard,
screen.
isn't it?
And so this is like Colin Smith from Photoshop Cafe, by the way. Like you will publish videos, but you get a chance to edit them, right?
Well, actually,
Here's like unfiltered Colin.
Well,
work
when I
it.
do the YouTube videos, those are pretty much, I do one every single week, and you can find my channel, Photoshop Cafe, on YouTube. And those are pretty much like as they happen. But, you know, if I make a mistake, I do fix it. Okay, let's do this. Like, I'm probably going to change this color later because I'm not, like, digging these colors, but I just want to show you guys placement and stuff. It's a little bit, you know, ketchup and mustard for my liking. But if I hit the save button, I just want to kind of show you how this works. And we go in here. Look at that. See how it updates the can right there? Now,
Boom.
it gets a little stretched, so you go to the 3D panel, and under the 3D panel, you can control different things. And we've got like textures, lighting, all that kind of stuff. Let me drag this to the top because I want to show you a couple of problems that we're having right now. Like one is this horrible lighting at the bottom. It's not realistic, so we're just going to turn off those shadows. So if we go under lighting here, then we can turn off the shadows. See, this is where your controls are. And also we can change the direction of the lighting to match the sun that's coming. And what I'm going to do later is I'm actually going to create blue coming from this side to simulate night, and then yellow on the other side. I'm not going to get into all that now, but let me just give it a little touch of color so you can see how you can add colored light. But see how it's distorted and it looks really bad? You can actually adjust that. Let me see if I can remember where the settings are.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if we go under the label material here, under the diffuse, if we go here, we can edit the UV properties. And this is where, if it's stretched, we can change it. So let me try this to say, like, I don't know, 150. There we go, looking a lot
That's
better.
cool.
Proportions are good. The offset, we got to change this. See, that'll move it around. And this one here, we'll move it up and down. See, there we go. So now we can position our label exactly on the can where we want it. And click OK. Now, one of the things I would do is I would render this normally, and it looks a heck of a lot better when it's rendered. But that's going to take like 3 hours, so I'm
Yeah.
probably going to rasterize this one. And
No, that's super cool. And while you're, that's awesome. And you did that really fast. Can you just, somebody did ask like where you got the can, so can you kind of point
oh
to
yeah,
where
I'll show
got
you.
that
I'll show
really
you guys
fast?
again. So basically, what I did for the can is if you go up under the 3D, let me make sure there's no layers. I'll just create a blank can on top, and then under the 3D menu, which is in Photoshop CC, you go under the new mesh from layer. And you can actually create, see there's all these different kinds of things. You got wine bottles, soda cans, really a beer can, but they wanted to make it G-rated. Cubes, you know, all these different shapes are there. So if you've got a layer selected or a group of layers selected, that will actually wrap that label on there. And as you saw, I can go into another window and I can design this can. So I'm not done. I'm going to keep designing this can label, and it will update live here
How
inside
fun.
the 3D object. So.
That's awesome. I even want to go beyond that because that is a short list. So I'm just going to like overlay your screen if you don't mind. But so you showed like there's primitives in there. There's a wine bottle. I think there's like a hat or something.
Yeah,
Kinda
like a
like a top
donut.
hat.
couple of
So
these, yeah.
like how often do I do
Monopoly
that?
pieces.
I will point out that you know, we could also use Adobe Stock to kind of go beyond just searching images. Because look at this drop down. I can search for 3D. By the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So in fact, if I think I have enter, boom, awesome. So if you don't put anything in your search field and you just select 3D, you'll get all of the 3D elements. By the way. You know, in the case of maybe searching for a can, I can search for that stuff as well. But I did want to point out also these subcategories because you have materials, models, lights, all that stuff. So you can literally grab 3D elements if it's a bottle, right? That's what I'll search for. I've already licensed this one. So this is actually saved to my miscellaneous folder. And then I can actually, have you played around with Project Felix yet?
A little bit.
Just
yeah.
starting to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a step in the right direction. For you guys who don't know, it's like allows you to do compositing. So you can take 3D elements and composite that, you know, with a photo, and you can match the lighting and all that fun stuff. I won't go through that, but I think if you are gonna go ahead and install Project Felix, you can actually grab assets and start using it right away. Which is nice. And the renderer, by the way, is like V-Ray. So the renderers. I mean,
Nice.
honestly, when it comes to 3D, it's all about getting realistic renders, you know?
Yeah.
Because you could tell, you being a pro, you have an excellent eye
Yeah.
at whether something's real or not. But
I have to say, Project Felix is something as a print finisher I really want to learn how to use because I'm not good
Okay.
at 3D. And I think Project Felix could totally help someone like me.
And that's what it's all about. It's like 3D for designers. It's like,
Exactly.
don't make our brain hurt, but just show me how easy it is to, drop in this element right here like I'm doing right now. So this is Project Felix. And I get all these layers as I'd expect. Even if I wanted something for the background, by the way. So I pulled in some images from Adobe Stock. That's actually in my libraries panel, so I could search. Oh, let's just drop this in. So this is just an Adobe Stock image, which I think we're going to give away, 120 stock images. Let's do that in a second, based on whoever's emoji icon we like best. Not just kidding. It's very scientific. It's a scientific method we use to pick the winners.
It's good to try something new live.
So here it is. This is the cool thing I like. Create a light from the image, by the way, because you're creating lights. We could just create a light from the image. Click on that. It'll adjust the lighting. So you'll watch him change. It might go a little darker, but if it's really metallic, it'll reflect that image.
So is it looking at the background image to create the light?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So and
Wow.
it did get darker. You can align the camera to the image. So see how it moved it down? It basically placed him on the table, which is cool. So this is, again, Project Felix. You guys can check it out for free. Or basically it's in beta. And we'll give away 120 stock credits. All right, credits are awesome. So we're going to run this random name picker based on comments. And if Tyler is still in the chat, Tyler, we're going to give you 120 stock credits.
Holy God.
Because we really like your comment. You said, when we were talking about Photoshop earlier, you said endless tools. Photoshop's like a city. You can explore it for years and still find new streets.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's like clever metaphor. Tyler Vanacek, hopefully I'm saying that right. Tyler Vanacek, are you in the chat? Just say, hey, yay, or something, because we would need it. Oh, there he is. Here he is. Tyler, congratulations. You got 120 stock credits.
Woohoo!
Boom. Done. Get in touch with me. I'm going to type in my Twitter handle. So I have your name archived as well. And awesome. I still want to see the... oh, you have that. So what were you going to... Actually, I'm still kind of looking at your work there, Colin.
Oh, I took some
Just
suggestions
FYI.
from some of the comments here. Somebody said make it gold, so I listened to the art director and I made it gold. And then someone else told me to make a WolfBear, which I thought was an incredibly great idea.
Yes,
Mm.
it was.
So
Don't worry, it's not alcoholic, guys, in case you're wondering.
yeah, it's
Not
ginger beer.
alcoholic.
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer, there you go. I love ginger beer.
I like the water's looking pretty good. I'm sure you'll throw some reflections and different things in there.
Oh, we're gonna do some splashes and some different things like that. Yeah, I've got some brushes
so cool.
actually. Let me show you what I'm gonna do, so that I can do it when you guys are not watching. So you won't see me screw it up.
And next up, we'll give away the hovering art director. Again, I think there's only very few in existence. Krista, how many art do you have? Like, this is like the only one in North America or something
That's
crazy?
the only one in the world currently.
This is the only one in the world. So you
yeah,
could
stuff
have
like
like
that, you know.
number 3
That was
in the
awesome.
world
I'm not
or
gonna do that right
something.
now.
That's
I'll do
super
that later.
cool.
Got a little work to do. I got a position and size.
They're exclusive, only 3,000 produced.
Only 3,000. I like 3. Worldwide. What say you, hovering art director? Do you mind hitting him?
This looks like a short list.
Oh,
I need it to be gold.
I need it to be gold. Never has an art director ever said that to me.
really? I've heard
Really?
that. Yeah.
So we're still looking for hovering art director comments. Feel free to check out the contest link below. You're doing some fun things with a meerkat. Oh, I want to see that.
See, that's
and
what
we
I
need to
think.
go, and then we'll switch to Chuck. So Lisa, and then we'll switch to you,
All right.
Chuck, in a couple minutes. Can we just take a look at that?
Yeah, one moment.
So, all right. If you could stop sharing whenever you're ready, Colin.
Done.
Let me just save that out.
Yeah, you got time.
Okay, here
Yeah,
we go.
start sharing whenever you can up there.
Nothing worse than
Yeah, Carlos, you want the hovering art director? He's like,
3D
how big is he?
visualize.
Like 5 inches tall or something?
Trust
He's
me.
pretty.
You'll thank me when we're in Cannes.
You'll thank
Heads
me
up.
Where
when
this
you
is going,
when we're in.
but let's just start
Cannes.
over.
Con.
I don't even. How many phrases are built into him?
20?
Maybe a good 20 or so.
Collect them all.
Try some more versions.
Try some more versions. Thanks for that, art director.
Ah.
And like somebody said earlier, it's like everybody's boss rolled into one.
It's like Lumberg.
Does the art director say I need it yesterday? I certainly hope not. And if he does say that, is he gonna break if I throw him against the wall? Probably. Be nice to him. He's still a human. Toy. All right, you ready?
I think so. Am I on?
Let's take a look. Yes, you
Yes, I
are.
am. Okay, so just real quickly.
What is that? Hey, Siri.
Hey, Siri. Siri
That's
wants
not
to
part
talk.
of Photoshop.
Sorry, Siri wants to talk to us.
Photoshop's not driven by audio yet.
Not yet. Soon, it's coming. All right, I just wanted to go over that flaming hair thing. So this is an image off Adobe Stock that
Really?
you can get.
I really thought you just made that with flame. I was like, oh my.
No, baby. I wish I'm not that good. But this is the hair. Now, good. It's Marvel comic kind of DC comic craziness, but it took about 15 minutes. So basically, what it is, it's these little hair paths. So just like I demoed
You'll need to
before.
unlock your iPhone first.
Whatever.
That's the worst thing.
Everybody's
hovering
telling us what
that-
to do.
that-
Like
that's the worst
art
hovering art
director or
director.
phone.
Right, unlock your iPhone. Siri's just butting in. So what these are these are layers that were drawn with a path, and just like I showed you before, choosing different flames. And then we did a back section, right there. It's a back section. Then a mid section for another blur, and then a top section, and then started to make little bits for more detail. And literally, I'm not kidding you, this was about 15 minutes. So if you had some time, that's a colorization on the top. So look, it's very illustrative. It's definitely not a Garnier ad or something that's exactly specific. But if you're trying to do something, it's illustrative. And for 15,
Illustrative. That's a good word.
it is a good word. I paid extra for it. And for 15 minutes worth of work, come on. Right?
That's awesome. And
So-
you can. So that's. And again, you can. That could be a mask.
It could
for
absolutely
the
be a
hair.
mask. And I mean, to hand paint real hair, it's going to take a lot longer, but
So did you do that with paths? Or
paths.
Did you just
So
paint?
yeah, it's
Okay.
paths. No, definitely not painting. So anybody could do this. You don't even have a Wacom tablet, you can do it. So let me do it on top again. A new sample. Carlos Garcia, thank you, sweetie. That was very nice of you to say. So again, any kind of path. I know it's hard to see on the screen here because they're tiny. But there's the path. And then go to filter, render. You can do it with a mouse. If you don't have a mouse, this is a great way to do hair. And then you can change your length of your hair. Come on, baby. By clicking the advanced settings, the turbulence. Okay. And there you go. There you start.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and you have
it's
that.
a pretty
I like
good
that
tip.
because that's like gives you again like full control, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
kind of particular on that.
Yeah.
All right, you are right, Carlos. It is the amazing Lisa.
Aw, y'all are too
Awesome.
sweet. Anyway, so that's
Aw.
enough. You go show someone else something. Who's next?
Oh yeah, we're gonna switch to Chuck.
Chuck, I'm getting out of the screen here.
You're on, Chuck.
Give me
Sorry.
1 second.
Cool. This is fun. Well, I think it's fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
The art director does not agree.
Oh.
He's not impressed. Not easily impressed.
There we are. All right, so just share your screen there, kid.
So I tried the flame as well and had a little bit of a hang. It was taking a little while.
Yeah,
so
it does take a minute to render.
I had to stop what I was doing for a minute, and then I ended up just shutting down and restarting it. It was just getting too.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
didn't
that's
need
good.
it.
You know what? This is the perfect time to give away something. Why not, huh? We're gonna fill this space with the giveaway, huh? Why not? That's fun. So let's give away the hovering art director, huh? Let's Boom. Oh, there it is.
Not the art director.
We're going to use our random script to pick somebody from the chat. And we're going to give it to MGP Sports for the best pun this morning. Who did seriously? SIRI dash.
Oh, that was good. That was fantastic.
Hey, that's random, but it was very very
That's awesome.
appropriate for the time and very clever. So MGP Sports, just say hello in the chat so we know that you're still there, and then contact me on Twitter. All right, so that's for the hovering art director. So what? That's like our third one. Is that or our third? Second? Only our second one that we've given away. We got to give away more. All right, so we're showing your screen now. Everybody should be able to see it.
Yep. Yeah, I've just gone into full album cover /
Oh, fantastic. T-shirt
graphic
design,
mode.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, not not much more to say at the moment, really.
We'll just continue to work. It's all good.
These questions are getting out of control.
That pun was ridiculous, yes.
The guy in the end married.
Seriously?
Are you married? Wait, who's which
Yes.
guy? There's two of them. Which
Yeah, I
one?
know.
Ooh. Who needs OkCupid when you have Adobe? Come on.
That is, Chuck, that's looking really good, buddy. I like how everybody kind of has a different, definitely a different style.
It's nice, isn't it?
I'm going to move this up so we can see it a little better. 2 art directors gone. Don't worry, we do have plenty more, by the way. So, 3 are gone. Sorry. 2 are gone. Oh, 3 are left. Oh, awesome. And we'll also next up, we'll give away some stock credits, because we know you need something to work with. You know, if you want to be like Chuck, you need to start somewhere with some images. Huh? Why not? You with your fancy, high contrasty image. I don't even know how you did that. You're probably not even going to tell me.
No, a lot of times actually what I do is I'll just make it. So I have a group up here that I just have locked, and it's full of just these different adjustment layers, and so that's without it, and then that's with it. I don't know how much it's showing up, but I like to work in the way it's going to look, finally. So I put these on and kind of tweak them as needed, but I don't want the black, to be a super dark black and. Give
Yeah,
it a
because
slightly.
that's not a true black. It's like
No, it's meant to just be a little faded, a little, like a T-shirt that you've washed a million times and it's kind of faded out.
So yeah, guys, we were just keep in mind the contest as well. So this is the Stocketition contest. It's hashtag Stocketition contest. I'll probably check later today. I don't think anybody's going to have anything done within the first 2 hours. I doubt it.
Yes,
but you are that actually might happen. So I'll have to check that hashtag on Twitter and Instagram here in about 30 minutes. But I would be.
Yeah, Chuck's married. Back
Chuck's
off, ladies.
Sorry, Felicia.
Don't
Don't worry. I hear the hovering art director isn't. That's about the best we could do for you. I don't know. Is there a ring on Is there a ring on his finger? There's one on Chuck's.
No, there's on his pinky finger.
What about
It's his pinky finger.
Okay.
Yeah. Trust me. You'll thank me when we're in Cannes.
You'll
When
thank
we're
me
at
when
Cannes,
we
did you
can.
say?
In Cannes.
Oh, Adobe Stock images can be used for products for resale. You can't resell the Adobe Stock images, of course. I think we need to talk about a couple things. First off, you'd be buying them probably for a project, just like Chuck's, making a shirt. So that's what he could do with an Adobe Stock image. But I do want to point out that you could actually submit your photos or images, vector, to Adobe Stock as well, which is super cool. So think about it. You got to think about it from both sides. So I'll actually show that URL as you're working away.
Oh, Paulina says she's re-inspired. Woohoo!
Oh, that'll move you up on the list for maybe getting something. Who knows?
Now everyone's going to be re-inspired.
So
Yeah,
Jordy, just so you know, the link's down below. It's going to be hashtag Stocketition contest. Does somebody want to answer this? What's your canvas size when creating artwork?
Oh, there is no set. It depends on the job.
Yeah, as big as possible, unless you're making it for. I mean, I think a lot of times you'll get asked to make something really big, and I make it even bigger just in case. You know, I mean, I'd much rather have a file 3 times the size that I need it and be able to scale down than make it too small or the
Right.
exact size and then something needs to change later.
You know what?
So-
I'm sorry to talk
Yeah.
over you. It might be a good conversation. I know in my industry, people are getting outrageously huge. We'll get 32 gig files.
Yeah.
And they're way beyond the size of the originals that you're even using. So to work smart for me, I work at the size of the main original. So whatever the hero shot is, that's what I base my DPI and canvas size at. Or, well, the canvas is whatever the job is requiring, but the DPI, and then I res up for the final delivery. So that way I'm not working on a 32 gig file every night waiting for it to save. I'm working on maybe a 2 gig file. And then I size up, grain, and sharpen.
Okay, gotcha. And it works?
It works
for you?
I've been doing it forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So, but I also, a 32 gig file is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm Mark Max. You're a designer and contributor for Adobe Stock. That's good to hear. If you guys are contributing to Adobe Stock, that's awesome. Literally, here's the URL. So I'll just pull this over. By the way, so if you guys do want to contribute, I'll actually post this link. But this is literally where you'd upload. I haven't submitted anything, but there you go. There's the link. And look at all the sales I have in earnings.
And Alan was asking what industry. Look at you, Alan. I'm in the entertainment industry. I do TV posters and movie posters. So to answer Alan's question,
Yeah, she's a big deal. All 3 of these, big deal. They're a big deal.
in our own minds,
But they don't know it because they're just stuck behind these screens all the
In
time.
the dark
and we
room.
appreciate having all you guys saying good comments and being nice.
can't see this.
Oh, so Mach 5 is a freelancer, and they could use a portable passive-aggressive know-it-all to take with them from place to place. The art director. Okay, you're going to get it. We're going to give it to you right now. You want that passive-aggressive art director? Mach 522, just say hooray. Make sure you're still in the chat, but we're giving you a hovering art director just like that. Huh? Awesome. Yay, you lucky son of a
Yay.
gun.
Can I answer a resing
Yeah.
up question? So Christopher was saying, don't you lose resolution scaling up from 2K? Example, I'm trying to say I work at the size the original is already. So no matter what, I'm going to have to scale up. So why not
Okay.
scale up at the end?
Yeah, no, that totally works. Michael Borba in the house. So
I'm taking a
again,
picture of
WolfBear
everybody.
or Woofy Bear, as somebody says. Hooray for Mach 522. We'll give away stock credits next, by the way, but really it's about learning pro tips from you guys because I don't want to I know, Lisa, how often do you get to do you doing this stuff a lot? I'd love to learn from you, and I think it's cool. Can I switch to your screen,
You
actually?
can.
Thank you so much, Chuck. We'll just have you stop sharing. Again, you have Adobe Stock.
I
That
love Adobe
link,
Stock.
jump to the contributor portal, upload, and do some research as well. So you could do a visual search. If you're going to upload an image, do a visual search to see if something is already in Adobe Stock and how it compares to other images, and then go from there.
Did you show how to search with an image that you already had?
I
You
did,
did at the
but you
beginning. Yeah,
can-
sorry. Yeah,
You could totally,
because that's awesome.
whatever you want to do.
Can I talk about libraries for a second?
Yeah, let's talk about Creative Cloud libraries.
I love me some libraries. Love, 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 love. So because I work, I have my own business, and then I work at agencies, and now sometimes with security, you have to work in house because they don't want files to go out. So I have a bag of tricks I like to keep with me, and I store it on my library. So it's ubiquitous stuff that I use all the time. So for example, I have a painted flare I like to use, and it's just this little flare. It's nothing overly exciting. I'm going to open it up bigger here to see. It's just a paint thing on screen. I'll bring it in this way. And, you know, movie poster, everyone's got something on, some little flare that they drop in. I also have this big one, a big, wild, expanded flare. And you guys see this in every movie poster under the sun. Siri's trying to join the conversation again. So it's just your standard flare. It's a gradient, and you put it on black, and then you put it on the mode called screen, and you can place it in your file. You'll see it on every movie poster. It's so overused, but that's all right.
No, it adds that something
That
special.
little something something.
And that's like, again, assets that you always use.
I always use. Plus,
it's called your bag of tricks.
Bag of tricks. Yeah, bag of tricks. Yes. And another thing, for example, is textures. So I'll have textures that I'll have that I can use, and I store them in my library at the highest resolution I have, and that way I can use them as needed. So let's say you wanted to put, I don't know, some little textury thing, put on overlay or soft light or difference. If you wouldn't want to put on difference, but difference will do something really crazy. But I think you get the point. Just adds a little something something. What else do I have in my bag of tricks? I have yellow paper. I love yellow paper. I have probably about 5 gigs of stuff in my bag of tricks. So I just brought a little bit of stuff to bring in. So maybe you want to put...
and did you know you can do this? So that's awesome, your bag of tricks. Here's just...
He's going to learn me.
Yeah, I'm going to learn you. Go to libraries, do the flyout menu, and actually click the thumbnails just so you can get it back to where it was.
Yeah.
Go to that little guy. So you could collaborate.
Yes, I actually have a collaboration with someone. Isn't this great?
Cool. And share and all that good stuff.
So this is a really underutilized, I think, at least in my industry, that once you have a logo or file size or whatnot. So if I wanted to send this to me.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
What's your email?
It's okay. You can put my email. It's all right.
You don't mind if people see it?
That's all right. PTRANI @adobe.com.
You want my bag of tricks?
So turn not edit. Maybe not edit.
Can view?
Yeah.
So when you can view, can you actually touch them? Can you take them?
Yeah.
You just can't save over them.
Yeah, you can't save.
That would be
correct.
very important.
So can view would be, maybe it is for your hovering art director. We don't want to give. He doesn't push pixels around. He just walks around with his fancy designer coffee and stuff. So he just has view access.
It says scratches. Come on.
So you could have a library that follows as well. So as you update this,
Yes.
I would actually that's should be how it's set up now.
Yeah,
actually,
that
based on what
yes,
you
and
just
I've been
did.
doing that lately. So like scratches. I mean, just fun little bitty bits that you might want to use for something. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's huge.
Yeah, especially collaborating with other people, and more work. And it's things like this water. I have a water brush to help me make water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me show you that. It's, oops, excuse me.
You should just put all this stuff on a hard drive and sell it to people for like 10.
I shouldn't.
10
They
grand.
can go relax.
10 grand a pop.
So, so let's say we want to make this water section down below. Let me just move my little connect here. I have a brush I've already made, and the presets are absolutely amazing. Things you can make. When you have free time, you want to make brushes. Water top. And then if I go to my brushes, it'll be right here. And please note, like every library, I make it as big as possible. So you can't see my brush because it's huge. I'm going to click with
I
white.
just put mine in front of
So there's my water. You can see it's just a channel pull. I'm a channel puller.
That's your water brush.
That's my water brush.
Yours is a little bigger though.
And then I'm just going to scale it down
That's fine. That's a good idea.
and put it down on the bottom.
Let me move this up so I can see.
Let me switch my brush so it's not so huge now. So now I've got this top water. And then maybe what I did for this is I just made a layer of blue underneath. So I painted with the color blue. Put it on 30% opacity. Let me make it 100. So I just painted with cyan. And then I put the water on top of that. Can scale it, warp it, whatever. And then that blue's a little too much because you don't want to see it. You just want to have the hint of it. So make it 30% opacity. And then you just got 40%, maybe 50. And now you have a touch of blue.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Water brush, water brush. So let's talk about how you make brushes and stuff. Could we for a second? Would that be okay? Yeah? No?
What's that?
Could I talk about making a brush real quick? All right. And again, Adobe Stock is your friend here. So under the File menu, there's Search Adobe Stock. You can go straight there, and that'll launch Adobe Stock. I mean, you're going to have to invest a little time and money, but it's only a little bit of time and money, and you'll make it back. So water, surface, maybe lake, maybe ocean, I don't know. Let's see what we get. Oh. As you'll see, that's mine, and I've already licensed it. So I'm going to save it to my computer. I'm going to show you how to make a brush out of it. I love this surface. Get ready, kids. It's channel pulling. All right. It's going to open up here. It's going to take just a second. Here we go. All right. Y'all ready? And again, you only have to make this once. Here's your image. Once again, we're going to go to channel. I'm at the full resolution of the file, so it's a 47 meg file. You're going to click through the channels to see which gives you the most contrast. For this one, it's going to be the red channel. Grab it by its name, drag it to the Add a Channel icon. Lisa says do some levels, Command L. And why you do that is you want to get your blacks really nice and rich. And then I generally don't move the highlight too much, because if you move the highlight, what you'll get is you start getting banding. So leave your whites alone.
Oh, sorry.
All right, and then once you have that, I'm going to command click on my channel, the icon for the channel. I'm going to go back to my layers. I'm going to say make brush. You can do this a whole bunch of different ways. It's just the way I do it. And I'm going to fill it with the color white, which happens to be my foreground color. Fill with 100% white. Now I'm going to make a back black layer. Now a brush is the opposite of this. This is where you have to kind of pay attention. The brush, you want it to be reverse. So I just do an invert. Let me just move this icon here. Excuse me. I do an, bless America. That's my nice way of swearing.
Bless America.
Yeah,
And then
otherwise
what
I'd
about
say
the Buddha?
something else. So here's my brush, my file now, and you can see it's kind of gray, but that's what you want because you want transparent tones. If you want it a little darker, you could just duplicate your white layer, Command J, if you want. So then you make a selection, Command All, make a selection, Command All, Command A, and I'm going under the Edit menu to define brush preset. Groovy water brush. Okay, let's call that groovy water brush. Now go back to whatever document you're in. It's in there now. It's in your presets. Groovy water top.
Trying to remember the first step you did.
I'll go over it again. And on your brushes, it'll always be the last one you made. The last one you made, or you could view by name, but let's not go there. And just click. There you go. Remember, it's the full size.
Yeah.
Now, see how big it is? It's too big for the file. If I use it here and I click and I Command T that now, it's cut off. So that's no bueno. All right, no good. So what you're going to want to do is get out of there. I'm going to delete that layer for a second. So when I'm on the brush, I need to scale my brush down, and I use the bracket, the lesser than bracket. Scale it down. Now I'm going to click. And now I'm on a layer called Groovy Water Top. It's just white paint. It's nothing exciting, but it makes all the difference in the world. And now I can scale it down and put it in position. Hopefully that's clear.
Yeah, no, it's good. And like somebody mentions, this is being recorded, and you can always step back and watch it again, which is super cool. But we also want to do some giveaways as well, because here you are playing with images, and maybe they don't have images to work with. First off, Stock Edition, you can click on that link just in the description to kind of download all the assets. Happens to be a gig because we wanted a large file, but let's give away 120 Adobe Stock credits, shall we? Does that sound good to you guys?
I'm so excited for you. I want stock credits.
All right. Who wants Adobe Stock credits?
She likes my Spanish. He likes my Spanish. No bueno.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Who wants it? You could say me, please, or you can, yeah. You've worked with fire, water. They also want to know if you're going to work
I'm
with
going to
earth.
break into some earth in the song, though.
Ooh, oh, yeah.
No, you don't want me singing. Never mind. I take it back.
I should actually ask a question. All right, let's do this. What version of Photoshop first introduced layers? What version of Photoshop had layers?
You're not asking us, are you?
No.
No, good.
Don't answer. Thank you.
Jeez. Oh my god. Look at the comments.
Me, please. Me. Me.
How do you
Because
like
people are all
it? How
quiet,
do
and then you
like
guys say,
it?
"Hey, do you want something?"
Yeah.
And then
Hello.
So somebody says 1.5. I see 2.5. Which one's the answer, by the way?
Oh,
I gotta look here.
I'm pretty sure it's
the
2.
answer is 3, actually.
2
I
point,
thought
I
it
thought it
was
was 2.8.
I thought it was.
No, 3's
I was
when layers were
3.5.
introduced.
I mean, what's the point in asking a question you know the answer
No.
to? I'm here to learn too.
I like that folks are participating. It's fun.
All right, I know the answer. You guys are close. I don't see it yet. It should be. I don't know if my hand's off screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Get Russell
Correct
in
me
here.
if I'm
He'll tell
wrong.
us.
Sad thing is,
I haven't seen
remember
it
them.
yet.
Yeah, I remember it coming out.
I remember.
what year was that?
Is it 3?
I don't remember the year,
Yeah,
but I remember where I was
definitely
living
3.
and what
It's
computer
3.
I
I
had.
remember upgrading to 3.
All right,
and
it is
was like-
version 3.
And I was like, oh my god, I now have layers.
Everybody is answering in about the amount of time it takes to.
All right,
Google
now
it.
we gotta
Google it.
scroll up to whoever said 3 first,
'Cause I
and that
remember-
will be our winner. Congratulations.
I remember having
Daniel,
the
maybe?
clone
No.
stamp, a
Maybe.
whole
Maybe Daniel.
Oh, there we go.
magazine cover because I did a punctuation error
Congratulations,
on 2.5.
Daniel Beige, Bage, was the first to type in 3 there. You get. We were going to give away Adobe Stock credits, 120. Why not? Boom, you have it. Just, well, not quite that fast, but you get the idea. Daniel, say hello. Say hey, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for answering. Everybody said 3. We had to do some double checking just to make sure. And again, we have your name right in here. Daniel Beige, Bage. Congratulations. 120 stock credits. Make a note. All right, we still got to do more giveaway. Let's share some more screens. Hey, how you guys doing? You
I have
got something, Colin?
Sure.
You already how you
Yeah,
doing?
I have another trick for him, but
I
I'll
know
tell
you
it
got
later.
so many tricks.
I'll
You
get
got
off.
so many.
I'll share. I'm sorry. I'll give him.
No, I don't know. It's whatever, but I just want to make sure we're getting
Here.
Colin in there. How
Colin.
you doing, buddy?
Yeah, there you go.
Doing great. Doing wonderful. Having fun.
Ooh,
here.
Kazakhstan in the house.
Woo!
Cool.
That's pretty
We are-
exciting.
We're here at WolfBear headquarters in San Francisco. Beautiful Bay Bridge view. You can see it's just gorgeous. Actually, what Golden Gate Bridge? Let's
Yeah.
just say we
Love
can
San
see
Francisco.
it right there.
Oh, that's looking awesome.
Oh, he's killing me.
This is really fun.
Colin Smith, everybody, looking good.
Oh, thanks. All right. So I'm just working on the water stuff right now. And to make something look like it's underwater, all I'm doing is reducing the saturation on the object, but then the bubbles are kind of what's giving it the realism. So I'm kind of thinking, when something goes in here, you've got air, there's a pocket of air is escaping, and then it creates bubbles and splashes on the surface. So what I've done is actually I've just made some brushes. And you can find brushes from different places too, including Adobe Stock. And all I'm doing is just like basically creating some little bubble brushes. And what I've done with these is actually I've taken them from photos. Did you show how to make a brush from a photo?
I did. I just did with the water. Yeah.
Okay, I figured you did, so I don't need to show you guys how to do that. But essentially, just doing the same thing here, just creating brushes from photos. So a lot of the time I'll get photos, and sometimes a photo might not be a usable photo, but there could be an element in it that's useful. So I never like throw anything away. I always keep things because you just never know when they're going to come in use. And in this case here, I've got like little bubbles, but I've got my caps lock on. That's why it's all weird. Hang on a sec. My display's gone all weird. Hang on. Oh, it's too big. Let me shrink that down. You ever have that when it goes so big?
Oh, yeah.
It goes right off your screen. So what I'm doing is I'm just resizing these bubbles, and then you just want to kind of add them where there might be some moisture coming out. So like maybe here, and then make sure I'm up to 100%. And
That's a
just
great
kind
idea.
of, and I'm just kind of tapping the bubbles in there. Now, if you want a little bit of variety, one of the things I do is under the brush panel here, is I go under here and I can change the direction of the bubbles, so I can reuse the same ones, and you'll see on the overlay there what angle they're going to look at. Now, I have a art brush from the Wacom. This particular pen doesn't do it, but there is a pen that's available that has barrel rotation, which I have at home, and as you rotate it, it will actually rotate the brush dynamically, which saves you
nice.
having to do that. But it's kind of cool. It's just like the little details like that, like the little bubbles and stuff that give it the realism. And you know, where my big teacher is just the real world. You know, a lot of the things I do, I just look and I observe and I look at how does light hit things. And it's interesting how many people, I may as well just bring this up really quick. It's amazing how many people they look but they don't see.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the more you learn how to see, the better artist you become. And one of the things I do is I always look at things like how do shadows hit things, how do reflections hit things. And a good example would be like, okay, you've got a mirror, I've got an object sitting on the mirror. Without doing this, if I shine a really hard light on it, will it create a shadow? You have to stop and think about that. And I had to stop and think about that. And so the answer is no, it doesn't. But I actually went and got a mirror and put the object on the mirror to
There you
see how
go.
it responded. And so things like that. Whenever I see something like, you know, sometimes you're out in the real world and you see something that's something like, oh my gosh, it just looks really beautiful. Everything looks amazing. You want to ask yourself, why is it amazing? Why does it look amazing? And then if you can understand, is it the color of the light? Is it the way the shadows are working? And the more you start to recognize those things, then you can reproduce them. If you look at something, you say, hey, that looks really good, but you don't know why it looks good,
Yeah,
you're not learning, you can't reproduce it. So anyway.
that's a good
No,
point.
that's good stuff. Now, Transgreaser, FTM, fun names, but says that everything underwater looks about 25% larger.
There is that.
There's a little bit of magnification. There is magnification that goes on, which is like super perceptive to what you were saying. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
just kind of do that study if you can, looking at because that's what makes you guys good at what you do is, you know, as artists, being able to really see and replicate sort of real world situations,
Yeah.
whether it's color or
yeah, definitely.
so, and even exaggerating that sometimes.
Yeah, and that's refraction. And in fact, every object has, because I studied 3D, and there's actually a refraction index that you can Google, and different materials refract in a different way. Mm-hmm. And if you can't refract everything the same, like not everything is 20%, depends what you're looking at, what kind of material is, what kind of, do you have a mask on? Are you looking with your eyes? What kind of liquid is it in? It all changes. So, you know, those little tiny things like that are the difference between something that looks good and something that looks average.
That is it's starting. I know it is a bear, by the way, as I look at your work, but it looks like just kind of like a wolf that just like ate way too, just like had a lot to eat.
You know, he's been drinking a lot of this WolfBear,
It's-
and these carbs
It's not,
are just like
Don't worry, I think
not
they're going
good
to come
for the
out with a
figure.
diet version because we've seen. We need a diet version.
not good for the
Awesome.
figure. I understand. Yeah.
So, Photoshop Cafe, you guys could see just. Sorry. You guys can see the, their social media tags in the lower third to get a hold of them or follow them.
Bubble warp filter, cool.
All right, how about those hovering art directors?
Someone thinks the
give one
water's
away?
too blue.
Just trust me. I'm an artist.
We're always open to new hovering art director lines if you guys want to be witty in the chat and say something that maybe he would say. You could, I don't know, guess one of the 20 phrases.
Is beer gluten free?
And now I'm
Sure.
starting to work into some nights. I'm going to do some day for night stuff now in here as well.
Is that just a... No.
So curves adjustment layer, but you can dodge and burn on it. So you can literally create different effects. So if you want to create like light hitting here, you just mask it out.
All right. Feel free, guys, to check this out. Start on something yourself. Again, you can download the 20 assets to participate in this contest. Ooh, Michael Borba's throwing in some flames.
Ooh.
I'll know what I want when I see it. We want it to look like this, but don't copy it. Ooh, that's like your comment that you said, Chuck, earlier, kind of. Can you use more fonts? You're fired, art director.
Yeah.
Can we just use the image from the internet? That's pretty darn good. Hey, you know what? Can we give it to Michael Borba? He's
Yeah.
like an overachiever.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Like 5 answers.
You guys agree? Okay, Michael Borba, congratulations. We're going to give you the hovering art director.
Woo!
Because you have some fantastic comments. And you put flames in the chat. We like flames. So congratulations, hovering art director, for you, my friend. It's fun. Like, we're only going to go for about 25 more minutes. So that's kind of our time crunch, but you guys have...
Weeks and weeks.
Yeah. Weeks and weeks. So I encourage you guys to... I'll post a link if you guys want to see the hovering art director video that's out there, which is awesome. So please just open this up in another tab because we don't want to lose you guys, but check out the hovering art director videos. Just bookmark that, watch it later, but just posted that in the chat. You know what? First option was okay. Just acting like that.
Oh.
I don't think that's very aesthetically pleasing. Start over. I'm getting depressed now. You went to school for this?
Ooh.
You guys are killing me. Looks great, but can you give me another version? How we doing down there, Chuck?
Pretty good. You want me to?
I think that would be fantastic. Give me 1 second to drag this over.
I added a font from Typekit in the meantime for something. I don't know if we want to get into that at all, but.
So feel free to stop sharing. Do your cool. So, Cecilia, that's the plan, is just to get the tips from these pros. I'm really thankful to have you guys here.
Oh, thanks for having us.
know.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys are awesome. Super, super lucky. And we appreciate you guys.
I'm
everyone
up.
Good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. There we are. Oh. Ooh, little Typekit font.
So.
Mark Boggs is funny. I already have an annoying art director. I hope your boss isn't watching. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's alright. I'm trying to just put some quick type to this. Again, thinking about this is more of like if you're going to use these assets more in a piece of graphic design or in a album cover editorial, it's a lot more up my alley with, if I was doing something for a magazine or, something like that. So usually something like that might incorporate some type, and this felt really fitting to have some sort of black letter. So I didn't have any that I really liked for this on here, so I just added some stuff from Typekit. I'm always amazed how quickly it adds into your font library too.
Yeah.
Because like before, you have to download the font, you got to open Font Book and install it, and then
They think you're amazing.
oh, thank you. That's very kind. And now you literally just go up to, you can go up here, and you can even sort. Actually, I think it's pretty new to be able to sort it by class.
Yeah.
And on this machine, so I actually don't use my laptop generally for my most of my work, so I don't have as many fonts on here as I would normally do, and I don't sync a ton of stuff to it because I use it more for just kind of quick travel things. But so I wanted to add a font, so I just do add fonts from Typekit, and assuming that you've got Creative Cloud and you have this all enabled, you can just click Add Fonts from Typekit. It'll bring you over here, and then so I wanted a black letter font. You just figure out what you need. So let's do an example. This one I don't have yet. So then you can just click on it, and then depending on what you need it for, if you need it as a web font, obviously you can add that to a kit if you have that installed. But I'm just going to sync it to my machine here, and then I'll go right back. And it is, what was the name of it again? Cabazon. Actually, I don't even need the name because I can just go up here and sort it by black letter in the classes here, and then
You might have it is just like favorites on maybe.
oh, it might be. I don't know.
Like yeah, it's all class.
Well, here, it's right here anyways. I know it's there. Right there, Cabazon, that's the one I just added. So it's pretty nice if you just need especially for like if you're just trying to sample something or get a idea of how it would look, even if it's not the perfect typeface, at least that's a good way to quickly kind of get something in there and get an idea of what you want. And so, yeah, so I've got this, the WolfBear word in there without kind of being too in your face with it. I've got, over here, we've got the wolf. And then over here, we've got the bear. There's no bear in this yet. I'm struggling to figure out how I want to include it.
That's why I combined the two into one.
Yeah, it's good.
And then most important thing, brand new feature, file save, so you don't lose your stuff. Although it does a pretty great job too, saving the background. If you ever have to just do a kind of last minute escape, pull up a recovered file, that's saved me so many times. Can I make the black a little lighter but not gray? We don't want gray.
Oh.
What was the last one if you go up? Oh, yeah, I see. See, that's funny too, because I know this is the pretty famous wolf t-shirts that you can go, all the reviews on Amazon and everything, if you guys have all seen that before. So hopefully this would be a less funny, goofy version of that. Well, here's
You guys are great, man. I mean, people are very positive in liking your work. I think these people would make great art directors.
That's good, yeah.
I could just throw the bear on the top like that and just call it a day,
Man, I do like that font, but people want that as a shirt.
It's pretty funny too. There's all sorts of these layer styles that have been there forever. So like difference and exclusion, for example, most people are probably not going to use that in their daily work, and it does just this kind of inverse thing, pretty... It generally can yield some pretty ugly effects. You just need to figure out like why you're using it.
Yeah.
But what's funny is as kind of the zeitgeist of like design has kind of evolved, at least in my world, and kind of the type of design and illustration that I do, some of these have become more relevant or usable, and like the way that things are overlaid, you tend to see certain styles more present in graphic design that's out there, and so suddenly you might find a use for something that's been there all along, because it's just kind of the changing of the times, and there's a reason that certain colors work and look good together that didn't 10 years ago. So in a lot of stuff with design lately, I find myself using exclusion or some of these things that I never would have used to use, but now the context has changed and I can figure out a way to implement it. Maybe not right now here live. I'm not sure if it's working, but
Evil Sharice is like, could you make the bear like 50% more bear?
Oh, God, that's
actually,
good.
here I could watch this. Look, I'll do that for you. Copy, paste. There you go.
Done and done.
That's fantastic.
Don't forget to invert that 50%, Greg.
I think they're one of our people though.
Well, there's a photographer named Gregory Heisler who said when he came to Art Center to talk, and he'd set up a photo shoot and do a job, and then before he'd left, he'd turn around and shoot it from the other direction. And he said, I can't remember, it was like 20 years ago, but something like 8 times out of 10, that final shot was the job.
Yeah.
And there's something about what you're doing that shakes up how you're thinking about it. It flips
Yeah.
it, which is really inspiring. I think it's great.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, for me too, like I treat Photoshop like I grew up drawing, and you know, I feel like the first half of my life was no computer, and you know, so I'm 32 now, so like it's like the first 14, 13 years of life was no, and then I got introduced to it pretty immediately and changed everything. But I treat it like I'm painting or drawing. I just start throwing things at it, let it be a little messy. You know, and you can see that here. You know, things aren't perfect, but I kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
You know, for my purposes.
Yeah, yours looks good, man. You know what you're doing. And there's plenty of people like adding comments and stuff, like wanting you to put the bear inside of the bear text or whatever else, but it gets to be too much. It needs more Helvetica. I don't think so. And then we have lots of bear puns, by the way.
Unbearable.
Yeah, lots of bear puns. I don't want to give it away to bear puns. But we need to give away stock credits now. Let's do that. And I'm actually checking Twitter as well. Hashtag Stocketition contest. So feel free, a link is in the chat. Or excuse me, a link is in the description. So again, part of the Stocketition contest, post to Twitter or Instagram. That's how that works.
Yeah, sometimes like I want to include the bear in there, and I think it's better like real subtle in the background like that, so kind of fade it out.
Can you? I'd love to see Lisa's.
Yeah, let's switch back over.
Okay.
Again, this is the competition. So Lisa, you work with professional photographers. How different it is for you to work with pictures like that are good and not so good? Because we were talking about this last night.
Yeah. Am I sharing?
Like, do you believe everything is fixable in Photoshop?
Oh, that's a loaded question. No, everything is absolutely not fixable in Photoshop, but you do what you can. Mm-hmm. But I think honestly, folks would be absolutely amazed the crap that we get. I can say crap, right? Yes. The crap we get to deal with, and the quality of work that we get, and then we have to clean it up. So a lot of tricks that we have are things like, oh, how do you take the noise out, or how do you re-illustrate? Because it's so low res and flat, and you can't see anything. So I had a job yesterday for something that I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what the situation was. It was a picture of the Seattle Space Needle, and it was shot dead on, straight on, probably from a drone or something like that. And the client wanted to that was perfect, it was fine, but they just wanted to tilt the top down so you could see the bottom of it, as if you can just do that. And
yeah,
I mean, if you've seen the Space Needle,
technology's not there yet.
No, I mean the bottom looks like a mushroom. But I will tell you though, I went to Adobe Stock and I pilled. I just did it this way. I did. In fact, I can show you the exact same thing I found it with. So I went to Adobe Stock, and I said Seattle Space Needle. And I went through and found shots that were from below. It took me a few minutes because there's a lot of shots of the Space Needle, but that's all right. And I found some shots from below, and I said, well, we could use this, and submitted it. So do you see how all these are direct? So it took a few minutes to go through. I don't have it on this machine, but there are shots from below with it. So, yeah, Adobe Stock. Hopefully they'll pick it. We'll see when I get back to work.
I mean,
but
you're in the industry. It's fun.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that we sometimes have to do if they won't pick another shot is you would go to a stock shot, get an image, and then use that to figure out how to illustrate. Like you were talking about seeing, and people don't see. And rather than trying to guess at what would that structure be doing, you actually download it and look at it and then paint on top of it.
Yeah, references.
And, is a good thing. Can I show a wee little trick? Would that be all right?
We have about 10 minutes. So
okay.
probably time to see everybody's last piece.
Awesome. Let me hurry and see what I can do here. So on the bear, you guys are going to find this on the bear that it's got probably going to have a little bit of a white fringe. And if you have a flare, and in my business, everybody has a flare. It's all flare driven. So let me go to my bear layer. Okay. To quickly do a rim light, there's a few tricks. One, you could just select your item. And I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to call it rim light. And I'm going to fill it with white. And then I'm just going to drop that behind the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And then give it a second here. And then what you can do, these are a couple different tricks. You can erase out a little bit of your original bear. So I'm just painting on the mask. And I can paint out a little bit of the bear if I want to. Or another really fun trick, which I have right here. Actually, I don't have it here, but I'm going to put it here. Is a blend mode rim light. And I think just for clarity, I'm going to put a black layer behind it. I do this a lot, by the way. When I'm working, I'll put a black or gray layer behind my item so I can see it. And then throw it away afterwards. And I'm going to call the, oh, I already made the layer, excuse me. So blend mode rim light. And I'm going to fill this layer with black. And I'm going to link it, option click on the layer in between those two layers on the line, excuse me. And I'm going to put it on screen mode. So when you're on screen mode and you have a black layer, you can paint with white and do a rim light. But it's kind of flat and illustrated looking. So one of the things you can do is you can control click on your layer and go to blending options. And do you see the blending modes down, blend if, down on the bottom? You can slide these sliders down below. And I'm going to option click on the triangles or the deltas in between. And you can start splitting where this shows through. It's not really working for me, is it? Oh, this is how demos work.
Yeah, you're blending. So if you had some grays in there, so if you, maybe it's because you don't have a lot of gray. I mean, you didn't paint very much, so maybe that's it.
No, hang on one second. Oh, I love demos.
Right? No, I hear you.
This is how this absolutely has.
What I think you're pointing out, though, as well, is that these sort of advanced blending options that people aren't even aware of.
All right.
Continue.
So now it depends on the tone of your color, of your underlying image. But what happens is it'll start busting up the line. So you can hand paint these lines to make them bust up. But I'd much rather have Photoshop do the work. So if I slide out these all over, it disappears. See that? Mm-hmm. And if I click, see how it's starting to creep in?
Oh, I see.
And you can split it by option clicking. And it'll start splitting the tone. And then it just means you can very quickly, I'm just going to hit OK with that. You can very quickly paint with a white, big, fat airbrush, but not have to be exacting. Does that make sense?
It does.
Hopefully it makes sense.
And what's nice about this is being recorded, and we only have like 8 minutes left, so that's why I'm glad this is being recorded, because we can scrub through that. But that's a cool way to make, obviously, a rim light, because, like somebody mentioned, you have to have at least 15 pieces of flare when working with a movie poster.
Right, you do, absolutely. And right. But look, if you guys could look at the side of the bear, do you see how I'm sliding it? Now more and more is showing on the side of the bear. So it really depends on the image you have and the section. So can you imagine hand painting all those little tiny hairs on the camera left side? It would be a pain in the butt. So this way you can do it. And so what it might mean is for the top, I have to do a different lens flare for that. I mean, excuse me, rim light for the top, but that's okay. That's easy enough. But for the side, it's certainly good enough.
Awesome. That's cool. Let's see the full piece now.
Okay. And Chuck inspired me to put some type in there. So I put type on my piece as well.
Let's check it out.
One momentito.
Antonio says that's amazing.
So that's
Wolf,
mine in a nutshell.
Bear, beer. Done. 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 Pretty darn cool.
Yay.
I dig it. Yeah, so fun. Let's give away, we got to give away a couple things, and we'll switch over to, I don't know if you're ready, Colin. We only gave these guys 2 hours. You guys have 2 weeks. That is awesome. Lisa, I love it. Give her a like.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's amazing.
Shall I switch screen?
Yeah.
What'd you do to my
and
computer?
let's do a giveaway as well. Can we do, I don't know if we should do it now. Actually, we'll just, if you're ready to go, we'll.
Okay, sure.
Then we'll do a couple giveaways.
All right,
We'll save a
so
couple for the end.
Almost done. I'm just going to do a quick
Zoop.
effect here. The type was actually an afterthought, so it's not a shining example of my greatest work. But let's get this going here.
Oh, you even dabbled in a little copywriting there, huh?
Yeah.
copy.
Oh,
The
wordsmith.
difference is night and day.
Well, should I just do the fill opacity? Just kind of. There's no point creating all those bubbles and hiding them all. Which is what I ended up doing.
I expect a Kiwi to do an ocean shot. This is fantastic.
Well, I'm from an island, you know. All right, so I don't know. I probably am just going to do that for now, but let's put it to the side, maybe. So right over here. So that's kind of what I came up with.
Awesome.
You know, I wasn't sure about some of the finishing stuff. I probably got a little carried away with some of this. If I turn those off, that's basically there. I just added a little color on both sides.
That water looks so good, though, man. I
tweaking
mean,
Yeah,
out with
really
that.
does.
I mean, for the amount of time that you spent on this, we didn't give you that much time. It looks so good.
And then a little dodging and burning.
Yeah, that makes a
Could go
difference.
really hard like that. If I
Yep.
want. But I'll probably get a little more subtle.
That's so good. Maybe I don't know if you guys get a chance. Guys gonna post this online, if you guys want to like finish up like basically by the end of the day today. Are you guys gonna post something on your social media
Yeah, I can
something
put it on
you're
my
gonna-
Instagram. I'll put it on my Instagram, my Twitter, and on my Facebook, which is all Photoshop Cafe and all of those.
Photoshop Cafe. Colin Smith, everybody!
Yay!
Thanks for having me, guys.
You are awesome. So we'll switch over to Chuck and wind down. We'll give away a couple prizes. Jimena needs an art director. If you guys have any comments, we can give away a couple prizes, essentially is what we'll do. And I have some already picked, but... Oh, awesome.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of adding detail and just stuff.
Oh, it's good. You've actually added quite a bit to
Oh,
it.
nice.
So these like the little circles here are just a little tiny crop from this photo here. So like the very tip of the mountain. I mean,
That's-
it really could be anything. But
And that's good because part of the contest you have to use all 20 assets. That's technically one
yeah,
asset.
and so
it's good.
it's so it's like these tiny little dots that don't really
That's cool.
necessarily mean much, but just become part of the composition and the elements of the design, and starting to put things in that balance each other out. And, for me, it's just about composition. So I have those tiny little dots up there, and then whoa, I'm getting a little big, and then a few of them on the bottom right, and then these kind of if you can see my cursor up here, these are all the eagle wings. So
Mm.
I can grab
Almost look like
those.
blades.
Yeah, these
Nice.
things. So yeah, it's just really I've always loved working with photography and just kind of turning the elements in the photography into design elements, and
I love it. You did a lot of work within the amount of time that we've had as well.
Yeah.
so this is just for me. It's like I don't know, what does WolfBear the band sound like?
I want this album.
What do they sound like? I didn't want
They're
that.
like I don't know, they're German metal. I think.
They are German metal.
German
That's right.
death metal. No, not quite, but really cool. Congratulations, Chuck. That's awesome. Everybody, a round of applause
Yay.
for Chuck.
Yay.
All right, so down to the last couple minutes, let's do some giveaways, shall we, guys? I'll maybe have you guys decide. I don't know if you guys are watching the chat, but if you could help me here as well. I have some picked out, by the way. And just keep your screen up, too, whoever. Yeah, keep yours up if you don't mind, Chuck. Yeah, you go hit F. Boom. All right. So, we'll give away 3 different prizes. I do want to give away one to Amy Fisher, if she's still in the chat, since she says she wishes there was also a female doll as well, or a female art director. So we're all about that. So yes, you could at least have this guy, and then I don't know what, but we're going to give you a hovering art director, Amy Fisher, for pointing that out. Sure, why not?
Is it over? Someone's like, oh, is it over?
So Amy Fisher's going to get a hovering art director. We're going to give 120 credits to someone as well. So I have a couple different comments here. If you guys see anything in here or want me to stop it at any time, let me know. But otherwise, I have some other good notes that I was pulling down.
I gotta bump him.
Tell me which one you like. Hey, designer, erase that stupid smile
Make
off of
it
your
more
face.
Oh.
interactive.
What about right in here?
Amy Fisher's there.
I was looking for somebody who was talking about champagne and flowers and strawberries, and I do not see that one here. But feel free to send in your last comments or hovering art director comments. Sorry guys, I'm looking for... all right. If I made wolf puns, it would be hilarious. H-O-W-L. Ugh, groan. Terry says, I really appreciate the work you guys do. It's inspiring, and you definitely helping light my creative fire again, which is just a nice comment. Hovering art director, get it done, designer, and then he does Control X. Me some slack, bro. Cut me some slack, but he did the shortcut keys. Kat Dake, this is her very first live Adobe chat as well. So those are comments that we're getting in. 120 stock credits. Any awesome. Who shall we give it to, guys? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Wow. Abraham Paibi.
I like this one too.
Filbert Fontainebleau.
Yeah. All right, we're going to
Just
give it
for the
to
name.
Filbert Fontainebleau because we like your name, and you do say, let's take your idea, put it in this box, and place it up on this imaginary shelf and save it for later, and we'll go with my idea, which is awesome. So, Filbert, you're going to get 120 stock credits as well. Amy Fisher got the hovering art director. We're still looking at Chuck's screen. Super cool. You can check out their social media profiles below. We are about a minute over, so I think we're about done. The cool thing is you could be the grand prize winner. What's that? You could speak up.
Show all of them again, just to remind us what the three.
Oh, yeah, I'd
let's
love
do that.
to.
That's a good call. All right, so there's mine, as you've been seeing
Boom.
this whole time. I'll stop sharing now.
All right, you want to share yours real fast?
Sure.
One more time.
Sorry.
And keep in mind, you guys can enter the Stocketition contest where you'll win Creative Cloud, Adobe Stock, iPad Pro, Apple Pencil,
You ready?
hovering art director.
Okay, I'll get out.
Boom. Lisa Carney, everybody.
Yay! Thank you.
Yay. Yay.
And the crowd goes wild.
All right.
And here's Johnny.
Et voila.
Boom. Colin Smith, everybody! Yay! Well, that was fun, guys.
Well
I hope
fun.
you guys enjoyed it. This is being recorded. You can watch it later. Tune into these guys, of course, through their social media handles below, just to see what in case they post something later on, and see how this progresses. We didn't give you much time. You guys have 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay in touch. We really appreciate you guys and being the art directors for us today. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you've learned something. So thank you guys, Carlos,
Thanks,
Hillary,
guys.
Ricardo, Micah,
Au revoir.
Candace, everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.